Give it a few moments to see who joins. Take a moment, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thank you all for being here. 1 a.m. stream. So it is a much later stream than normal. Or excuse me, 1 a.m. stream is normal. I started 1:07. So I started a little bit later than I normally do. Sorry about that. But let's give it a few minutes. Let's see who joins. Like I said, normally my 1 a.m. streams are very often, I get a lot of people showing up. Clearly, my audience is like me, a bunch of night owls. Let me just do a quick sound check. Yeah, we're all set. Actually, that'll be good. So please take a moment, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in the chat, say hello. When it comes to 1 a.m. streams, oops, I don't have any specific topics. We just hang out, talk about whatever. Anything about Freemasonry, any thoughts you have on Freemasonry, positive, negative, neutral. Don't forget, technically today, at 10 a.m., February 6th, I am doing my second set of push-ups. I'm taking part in the push-up challenge, doing 2,000 push-ups over 23 days. 2,000 push-ups based on the number of people lost to suicide every day. And every day there's a different goal, but at the end of the 23 days, the purpose is to reach 2,000 push-ups. If you can't do push-ups, that's okay. Do sit-ups. If you can't do sit-ups, do stretching for 60, for 2,000 seconds or 2,000 minutes or whatever it is. You figure out what you can do and you do it. But tomorrow I'm doing February 6th. So technically today, in about 9 hours at 10 a.m., I am doing the second day of the 23-day push-up challenge. On February 5th, so technically yesterday, I did 63 push-ups. The reason being that 63% of respondents to a survey, I think it was 63% of adults, reported that kindness improves their mental health. So that's why they picked 63. On February 6th, the goal is 75 push-ups. And the reason we do 75 push-ups is because 75% of mental health issues are first diagnosed or symptoms first appear under the age of 25. So at 10 a.m. today, I will be doing 75 push-ups. I don't know for sure where I'll be doing them yet, but I will be doing them in front of a downtown Windsor location. On February 5th, I did them in front of the Windsor Masonic Temple, which was really, really cool. Today, February 6th, I may do them in front of Caesars Windsor. I may do them in front of the river, or on the riverfront. Maybe the big flag. There's so many different places in Windsor to do these push-ups. That's like the really cool thing. Downtown Windsor has so many historical gems. It's absolutely incredible. And so I kind of want to take the time to celebrate them. Today I celebrated my favorite location in all of downtown Windsor, the beautiful Windsor Masonic Temple. Tomorrow I'll see if I can celebrate another place. Thank you, Jason. How's it going? Thank you for being here. As always, I hope you're doing well and having a great night. Like me, you are clearly a night owl, unless you're a different time zone and it's like middle of the day for you or something. We are just hanging out for the moment. They're going to wait to see who joins. Any thoughts anybody has on Freemasonry? Let me know. I feel like that's vaguely racist. I'm going to call you KI, but I can't tell why. I hope you'll hit the like button, nonetheless. Oh, so you're the same time as me, so you're also 1:11 in the morning. My face matches with handsome, KI. That's what matters. My face matches with handsome. Please take a moment, hit that like and subscribe button. Prolapse, I'm not going to finish the rest of that. I think you're saying I have a big nose. I'm well aware I have a big nose. I've grown to accept that about myself. Take a moment, hit that like and subscribe button. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. I will not do that because I do not know who that is. Well, then I don't know what it means to share a bag with someone in that case. It is Black History Month, Steve Banno. You are right. And one thing I do want to discuss at some point is Prince Hall Freemasonry during Black History Month. Prince Hall Freemasonry is a it's a really awesome part of the Masonic family. Prince Hall Freemasonry has done a ton of incredible work for Black men in America, African American men. It was very much for many, Black men historically in America. It was their exclusive source of civic engagement or community engagement. So Prince Hall is a really cool story. I've talked about it on the past, or I've talked about it in the past, excuse me, on this channel. It'd be really good to talk about it again, though. Again, because it is Black History Month. Um, KI, that all seems really weird to me. What the things you're saying. I mean, I don't think Iran is dying. Now, politically, who knows? The politics of a country are always changing, and the politics can, in some senses, die, right? The politics can change. However, just because the political situation is changing, that doesn't mean the country as a whole is dying. I want to use that term. Struggling might be a better way to put it, Alma. It's not easy, KAOSPC, but I appreciate you saying that nonetheless. That's very kind of you. I would think rituals just related to anything in general can be of benefit. A ritual is neither good nor bad. Rather, it's what its purpose, what it's teaching, what it's imparting. That's what determines whether it's good or not good. So certainly I think Christian rituals are good, but I think Judaism, Jewish rituals, or Islamic rituals, or Masonic rituals are all also good. Um, I highly doubt it. Um, Keep in mind, all of these are political discussions. It's really important to keep in mind and remember Freemasonry is not political, right? Freemasonry is not political. So when it comes to things like Iran, for example, or American involvement overseas, whatever it might be, Freemasons will have all different political opinions based on whatever it could be, based on their own intuitions, how they grew up, what they were taught, what they've read, the news and media they are consuming. But there is no single Masonic position when it comes to political questions, including questions of foreign relations or overseas engagement. Um, Very cool, Pud. Uh, I am a Freemason, so you have way more skills than me. I'm a Freemason, but not a stonemason. But good for you. Please hit like and subscribe. John, I am a Freemason. Elsie, there's absolutely no politics within Freemasonry. Now, I can't say there's no politicians within Freemasonry. In my 20-year Masonic career, have known three Masonic politicians, all of which were at the local community or the local city council level. One was a mayor, two were city councilors. That's all I've known. Historically, there were many more politicians within Freemasonry, but that's because there are just many more Freemasons, right? As a consequence of just having so many Freemasons, you had a significant number of Masonic politicians. You also had a significant number of Masonic janitors, for the record, and a significant number of Masonic lawyers and a significant number of Masonic mechanics. It was just the nature of the ubiquity of the craft. What is a low-level Mason, WPTV? What does that actually mean? Because Freemasonry, we don't think in terms of levels. The best way to think about it is degrees and offices. Yes, I do believe the moon landing was real. I absolutely believe the moon landing was real. Um, a Masonic mechanic means a mechanic. It's a profession, right? Somebody who works on cars or other mechanical objects. I'm just saying when Freemasonry was, had so many more members and the membership numbers, especially in North America, were so much higher, you saw a broad range of Freemasons across a variety of professions, whether it be janitors, mechanics, lawyers, bankers, politicians, police, unemployed for that matter, I suppose, plumbers, like anywhere in between. I like to think I know a fair bit. WPTV. I've been a Mason for 20 years. I've traveled around the world. I've been to the Philippines, South America, throughout America itself, like United States, England, Scotland. If I don't know nothing, then I spent a hell of a lot of time learning about nothing. Yes, KI, please everybody hit the like and subscribe button. I would be grateful for that. Consider doing a super chat, just 99 cents. Masonic refers to a member of a Masonic lodge, a Freemason, a member of a civic organization or civic group called Freemasonry, which evolved from stonemason guilds in the Middle Ages and which has been around for approximately 300 years, give or take, which is crazy to think it's been that long. I do not know what St. James Island is, so no. Well, again, John, masonry could refer to either stonemasonry, which is a profession, building things out of stone, or could refer to my type of masonry, speculative masonry, which means being part of a community group or civic organization called a Masonic lodge. We got hearts. I think that's Smokey the Clown. Welcome. Oh, well, then I've never been to the Epstein Island. I can say I'm marked safe from that. Never heard, don't know what it is. Honestly, though, and this is something, by the way, with all the hearts that is Smokey, thank you. Speculative just means not a profession. So when I refer to myself as a speculative Mason, what that means is I don't work with stone. It means I'm part of the Freemasons, the civic or community group. Just think about it like you're a member of a club or an organization. It's metaphorical. Honestly, because apparently Little St. James Island has come up and Epstein has come up again, I don't want to do this because I hate conspiracy theories. I hate this topic. I think the individual himself ruined a lot of people, ruined a lot of people's lives, obviously the victims, and the young children he was abusing, obviously. But just in general, this concept of Epstein has ruined a lot of people's lives. A lot of people got so wrapped up and warped into conspiracy theories and QAnon and a whole bunch of nonsense because of the Epstein stuff, and following down some, in my opinion, some very bad political kind of spiritual paths. I just think it's a very unhealthy topic. Having said that, Epstein has been popping up. A lot of conspiracy theories are presently, I don't want to say exploding, but they're growing, claiming that Freemasonry is mentioned in the Epstein files and blah, blah, blah. So I may have to discuss that on a stream at some point in the future because it's a pain in the ass, and conspiracy theorists are the type of people that whenever there's some type of international event or international news stories, they'll always find a way to bring Freemasonry into it. So I feel like it's my responsibility to push back against that, not just for myself as someone who loves Freemasonry, but to remind other Masons how they can push back against these ideas also. And, if somebody comes up to them and says something, they know how to respond. I would like to move on from it as well. However, it keeps on popping up in the stream. Herbie, if anybody sold your if anybody sold your son fentanyl, then I hope you contacted the police and they should be put in jail. I don't care whether they're Freemason or otherwise. We in Freemasonry do not, hide our members or try to protect our members from punishment if they've broken the law. I mean, Freemasonry is not like Christianity's spider because Freemasonry is not a religion. It doesn't have teachings per se. I don't like that term. You could use it, I guess, but I don't like it because I find the term teachings has too many too many religious connotations. I prefer the term, it has philosophies. The other thing to keep in mind about Freemasonry is there is no top within Freemasonry in the sense you're thinking of. Freemasonry is decentralized. What that means is there is no single governing body or single leadership council controlling Freemasonry in a global level. Rather, there's individual Grand Masters. Each one is sovereign within his jurisdiction. Um, I can, Nam, I try not to. FXX, Freemasons do not run the world. I'm very sorry to let you know that. Neither is Freemasonry, or Freemasonry is not Scientology. KAO, you are correct about that. Um, I mean, it's always possible to, I think it's Smokey the Clown, Jason. It's always possible for leadership in any organization to, I don't like corrupt the organization, I suppose would be the right term. However, again, within Freemasonry, it's much more difficult. It's also difficult within Christianity too, I suppose, in the sense that like Freemasonry is an umbrella term. There is no single governing body that controls or has power over all of Freemasonry. Even in North America, there's no single governing body. Even in America itself, there's no single governing body. So you need to keep in mind and you need to remember that there is no single structure. And honestly, that's probably one of the greatest strengths of Freemasonry. The fact that it's decentralized, right? What that means and why it's so valuable is because it doesn't have to be corruption per se, but if there's a Masonic jurisdiction that makes a mistake, that messes up, that mistake does not affect the rest of Freemasonry because it will be localized or contained within that specific jurisdiction. But by the same token, it also encourages more experimentation, more risk taking, because if you have one Masonic body for the entire world, you're likely going to be very risk averse as that body because anything you do affects every Mason everywhere. But if you are a jurisdiction that has, let's say the Grand Lodge of Texas or Grand Lodge of Maine or Grand Lodge of Ontario, you may be more likely and more willing to experiment because you know that if you try out a program, try out a new service, try a new way of doing things, if it goes bad, it will exclusively affect your jurisdiction and not all of Freemasonry, which, changes the risk to reward calculation. But also, if it does work and it works well, other jurisdictions can see what you did and modify it and figure out how to make it work in their jurisdiction. Or even if it does not succeed in the first place it's tried, other groups can see the effort and figure out how to do it themselves. I mean, it goes back to this idea I talked about before, right? It's almost like the federalism argument. The beauty of a decentralized platform, a decentralized organization is you have much more room to maneuver, much more room to take risks without the consequences of those risks, being spread over the entirety of the craft. Well, I mean, Salto, Paul, what risk? So, for example, let's say a lodge like my awesome hole in my um, very comfortable sweatshirt. Let's say a Masonic lodge wants to try a new social media initiative or wants to create an app for its membership. Um, to create an app on your phone for your membership, it takes time, it takes money, it takes effort. You have to test it. And ultimately, the app may not be successful or it may not work, whatever it is, right? So the cost and the time associated with trying something different. Every time you want to try something new, there's a cost associated with it, and there's time associated with it. I mean, when you think about it, a really good way to think about it is actually Canadian healthcare. And I don't want to get into what you guys think of it because this is not meant to be political. I hope, if you like it, great. If you don't, okay. It's been good to me. But Canadian healthcare system actually started in a single province in Saskatchewan with Tommy Douglas. It was tested in Saskatchewan. It was found to be workable. And from there, it expanded to the rest of the provinces. But maybe if we did not have a federalist system and did not have provinces, maybe we'd be less likely to have a healthcare system because the risk of trying it and failing it would have been much more daunting, would have been so much greater. Um, Google, I mean, hit the like and subscribe button. I think we need to be really careful with conspiracy theories, though. You're not wrong that there's a lot to be concerned in the files, put it that way. In what way, Spider? And what is the big deal about 33rds? You say, so you were talking a lot about power within Freemasonry before, or hierarchies. What is the power structure within Freemasonry in terms of a 33rd degree? What can a 33rd degree do? What power influence does a 33rd degree hold over Freemasonry, over a Masonic lodge? What is it that makes a 33rd degree quote unquote powerful? As I try to take my sweatshirt off. This sweatshirt's very old. It's got beat up, but it's still very comfortable. So I like it a lot. Honestly, nostalgia, I mean, I can't speak for your experiences. I don't know if you are Canadian, if you've experienced it, difficulties. I've been very grateful for our healthcare system. That's me personally, especially the people who work in it. As someone who's needed to use the healthcare system a lot, and as someone who also, my mom and dad needed to use the healthcare system a lot, I am grateful to have it. It could be better, absolutely. I'm not going to pretend like it's perfect, but nonetheless, I'm grateful for it. Um, is Eric telling the truth? Where's Eric? What's happening? Rick Charles. We got a Transcona here. Uh, maybe. I'm trying to remember Eric. Eric. Did I have a neighbor named Eric? 20. It's been so long since I was in Transcona. It's been like, I don't even know how long it's been since I just visited there a couple years ago. Oh, is that you're my next door neighbor, right? Okay, yeah, next door neighbors. How's it going? First of all, how'd you pick the name Rick Charles? Second, I hope I was a good babysitter. I don't remember that long ago, but I do remember babysitting. Yes, okay, I remember. How is your dad doing? How's your parents? I hope they're doing okay. I hope they're still around. I don't know if you heard or not. I don't know if you've ever, if you've heard the scuttlebutt. My mom passed away about 2 years ago, Heather. She had cancer, so it wasn't, it's sad, obviously. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry to hear that. I liked your mom. And that's incredibly fresh too. That's less than a week. I'm sorry to hear that. I do know what it's like. My mom has passed away as well. Um, I'm sorry on your for you as well. It sucks. It sucks losing your mom, as we can both attest to. For me, though, I will say I did treat it as almost a blessing because she had cancer for a few years and there was a lot of treatment and there was a lot of, it was just so difficult on her and her body and there was so much suffering that it was nice to know that when she passed away, she was no longer in any pain. Um, there you go. Yes. The I guess our moms got together up in heaven and you're seeing the former babysitter. How are your sisters doing? I remember them. They were cool people. I liked them a lot. Again, I hope they're doing well. I hope your dad is doing as well as can be expected. Obviously, he's going to be struggling right now as well, I'm sure. But for whatever it's worth, I can tell you it gets better. At least for me, it gets better. So it just takes time. Um, as we should, Rick Charles. Well, thank you for being here. It's really cool. Are you still in Transcona? Are you still a Transcona boy? I love Transcona. You know what? Transcona is God's country. I don't care what anybody says. So Spider, um, I'm not quite sure what that means. Although you're not completely, I can kind of get what you're saying. Certainly, the way you feel about something is going to affect the story that you tell about it. We're all doing okay, trying to, yeah. I mean, and that's all you can do, right? That's all you can do. I don't know if you've had the service yet. Um, tell your dad I say hello. Tell your sisters I say hello. Do you guys all stay in Winnipeg? So Freemasonry is not political. The question of supporting ICE is a political question. So what I'm about to say is me speaking exclusively for myself, not for Freemasons as a whole, because every Mason will have his or her own opinions on that. But I do not support ICE. I'm not a fan of ICE. Keep in mind, I'm Canadian, so it's not my country. Though I love the States, though, and I visit it frequently. I've said it a million times, Canada is the greatest country in the world, in part because we have the greatest neighbors in the world. But I do not support ICE. Um, Kayla is right here and says hi. Tell Kayla I say hello back. Crazy how time flies. How old would you guys be now? You're 10 years younger? Something like that? I don't remember. Uh, Gosh, it's funny actually. I did go last time I was home. My dad still lives in Transcona. Go Transcona. But he lives uh, down closer to Murdoch McKay, where I went to high school. So I end up wheeling here in Victoria. I wheeled from his place to Meadow Lake Drive to see my home, which is currently, I guess it's owned by someone, but it's being rented out. Nice couple on the deck who now own it. I didn't see your old house and what's happened. If anybody's currently living there, I assume so. It was upkept well and nice. But yeah, I did get to go back to the old haunt. 30. Oh my gosh. Well, way to make me feel old. Me rocking out at 42. Trip, this live is in theory. You're still at the same house? Oh, I should have gone and knocked on the door when I was there visiting my old house. Good for them for staying there. It's awesome. A lot of times as people get older, not saying your parents are older, but a lot of times, or your dad is older, a lot of times as people get older, they move. So good for them. I moved just here with the old man. Don't tell him you're calling him an old man, even though he is. He's got to be at least as old as my dad, and my dad's an old man. I will for sure. That is really, really cool to have you on the stream. It's really fun to see you. Like I said, or see you. It's really fun to chat with you. Brings back a lot of fun memories from Transcona, from Meadow Lake. That's really cool. This live is about Freeman. Yes, Harry. Harry is an old man. Tell your family to all hit that like and subscribe button if they get the chance. And yeah, I hope everybody's doing well. I don't know if you've seen these streams before, Rick, or if you just found me, but I talk about Freemasonry. I've been a Freemason since 2007, so just about 20 years, which is crazy to think it's been that long. Um, and yeah, it's that though is 2007. So by that time, I was already rocking out Windsor, Ontario. Awesome. Is there anything like what do you normally check out? Uh, Rick Charles slash Eric. What do you normally watch on YouTube? What type of stuff? Because I'm curious how the algorithm, I'm still learning, I'm getting better at it, but the ways the algorithm um, promotes content, right? My assumption is you search for things related to like Freemasonry or history or the occult. No, of course. And like I said, I know what it's like to lose your mom, so that really sucks. But I also know that over time it gets better and it gets easier. For me, the hardest part was honestly the funeral. I actually was okay for When I first found out she had passed away, I knew it was coming. I didn't cry or I didn't. I mean, mostly I felt relieved that she wasn't in any pain anymore. So it wasn't until the funeral, when I went back to Winnipeg for the funeral service, that I actually cried and actually felt the loss, I think, for the first time. So everybody is different, though, and the way everybody feels is going to be different, and the way everybody deals with it is different. Um, I do not know who the last emperor is, but please hit like and subscribe nonetheless. And this has been really cool, and thank you again for being here. It's really fun to see the I guess it would be the Transcona coming in hot. And handle your scandal. You know what is truly scandalous? Not taking a moment to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. Let me know if you have any thoughts on Freemasonry, positive, negative, or neutral. I'd love to hear them. And thank you so much for being here. I hope that you are doing well. I do not know who that guy is, Samurai. I'm the guy that's asking you to hit the like and subscribe button. And also, let me know if you have any questions about Freemasonry, positive, negative, or neutral. I'd love to hear them. Howdy to yourself as well, Bad Bet. Although you have a question mark after worshipful. I don't know if you're asking if I am a worshipful, which I am. I am I am the worshipful master of Border Cities Lodge number 554 in Windsor, Ontario. I'm also a past worshipful master of two other lodges, so. For the time being, we're just going to wait, see who else joins. By the way, I'm going to say again, outside of Freemasonry, the other thing I love is scary movies. Today, technically February 6th, we have The Strangers Chapter 3 being released. It actually looks really good. So I can't wait to watch that. And then this month, Scream 7 is coming out. I always forget who everybody is, Bad Bet. Okay, Nebraska Mason. Welcome. Thank you for being here once again. I really got to visit Nebraska. I promise you. I love small towns, and I feel like Nebraska is full of small towns. I know nothing about disco viral videos. I know about viral videos. I'm trying to create one. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. David Hayes, I love America too. I've always said Canada is the greatest country in the world, in part because we have the greatest neighbors in the world. Actually, hold on just 1 second. Let me double check something because I think I might have. I just want to make sure I'm getting this correct. Knowing me, I'm probably getting this wrong. Let me see, though, if I can figure this out and confirm this. Oh, I was incorrect. Okay, when you said Nebraska, I got mixed up. I will mention, though, congratulations to the Grand Lodge of Arkansas, FNAM, which the Old Fashioned Masonic Podcast and Freemasonry for Dummies are both reporting that the Grand Lodge FNAM of Arkansas voted in favor of recognizing the most worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Arkansas, 79% yes to 21% no. With this recognition, there are just 2 U.S. jurisdictions remaining which still do not recognize, which still have not achieved some form of Prince Hall recognition. I'll let you guess what those are. I have a quiz about it. Did you hit the like and subscribe button? Freemasons are not against abusive elites being. I don't know what that. I don't understand what that means. I mean, I guess Freemasons would always be pro the exposure of anyone being abusive or otherwise criminal, elites included. I don't know if you're saying, are we against the exposure or against the elites? Like Freemasonry, we are taught to be respectful of laws of the country in which we live, and not to harbor or, excuse criminals. So if there are any elites abusing anyone, Freemasonry should 100% be supportive of exposing the elites and bringing them to justice. And when I say bringing them to justice, I mean you arrest them and you put them on trial and you prove the case. Right? You go through the criminal justice process. I don't mean vigilante justice. I'll never support vigilantism, but I 100% believe if anybody is an elite or not an elite and is accused of a crime, they should be arrested, they should be put in front of a jury or a judge, and you have your criminal justice proceedings. So Freemasons are very much pro the exposure of elites, very much pro exposure of, you know, abusive elites, and we are against just abuse and criminality in general. Whether it be elites or not, just anybody. One of the things that Freemasons have always been encouraged, and this goes back to 1723, is to be respectful of the laws of the country in which you live, to not be breaking any laws, nor to be hurting anyone. And if we discover a Mason is hurting somebody, he should be brought up on criminal charges, and we would inform the police. Maybe bad bet. What you got to do is, if you go to my posts page, you can find the quiz I did where I asked the question. You get 4 different answers. Whether I'm Jewish or not, Proc 112, does that make a difference? Freemasonry does not discriminate based on one's religion or one's ethnicity. Well, bad bet. If you watch this stream at all, you'll know that one of the common conspiracy theories we get is that Freemasonry is a Jewish organization or is some type of branch of Judaism. So I'm always fighting against that. It got to the point now, though, when people ask me if I'm Jewish, I don't answer the question yes or no, because it's irrelevant to the question of Freemasonry. It's kind of like if I was a painter and I went to paint someone's house and they asked me if I was Jewish, that doesn't matter. What matters is, can I paint the house well? What matters here is, can I explain Freemasonry well? I do not know about trains. We got somebody playing music outside. Yes, bad bets. You get used to it. And the problem is, I don't like trolls, and eventually I will, put them in timeout. However, I started this channel to promote the ways Freemasonry was and is relevant to the communities in which it's located and the stories of Masonic interest. To do that promotion, I need to talk to people, even those who are a bit trollish. But actually, bad bets. Let me know. Are you part of my Patreon? Now, when I say that, you don't have to be. Thank you, bad bet. You don't have to pay anything to be part of the Patreon. You can be a Patreon member completely for free, but becoming a Patreon helps me very much. If you want to find it, patreon.com/square and compass. And you can join the Patreon for free, or you can, spend a couple bucks. It's up to you. But just join for free. It's just about the numbers. Handle your scandal. Well, that sounds awesome. To be one, ask one, right? If you want to be a Mason, the first thing you need to do is find a Masonic lodge that's close to you, a legitimate, recognized Masonic lodge, and express your interest in joining. And you kind of go from there. So, exotic, I don't think we can help you. It's very hard to help somebody over a virtual interface, not IRL. It's really, really easy. It's just patreon.com/square and compass. Shane, if a Freemason is physically trapped, you should lift him out of the hole or whatever he's trapped in. If it's emotionally or psychologically, like he's going through a difficult time, you may need to rely on psychological first aid training, which I've taken, and I encourage all Masons to take. No worries. So did you get it, Bad Bets? I hope it's working for you. Again, big C, the way to do it is to find a Masonic lodge in your area. approach them and express your interest in joining. Um, you're going to go from there. Uh, no, you're not. So long as you got it, though, so long as you have it, you can check it after the stream, which will be done in 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Once again, it's patreon.com/square and compass. Awesome, bad bet. I mean, that will come in handy to be a Freemason, right? Especially if you become a worshipful master or any type of kind of leadership role or administrative role within the lodge, because a lot of what you're doing is actually managing people. That's one of the biggest things that I think a lot of worshipful masters forget. Yes, ritual is important, opening a lodge is important, closing a lodge is important. The administrative tasks that are required by Grand Lodge is important. But to be able to manage the interpersonal relationships between your members, that's the key. What is the trade question? I generally don't understand what you're talking about, viral video. I did push-ups this morning. Um, Rodolph, I did 63 push-ups this morning. And actually last morning, this morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, I'm going to be doing 75 push-ups in front of a cool spot within Windsor. So there's that as well. Well, you have to kind of go alone. I mean, if I knew somebody who wanted to be a Mason, I maybe would bring them to the lodge, but just to help introduce them. At the end of the day, you need to make the choice alone. You need to make the choice of your own free will and accord. Now, you don't join alone, you join with your brothers, but the choice is yours alone, right? Freemasonry means you don't, to be a Freemason, you need to join of your own free will and accord. That's a very important thing. Um, that is awesome. Rick Charles, 44 / Eric, thank you for being here. And I hope you guys will check out the Patreon as well, all that good jazz. I hope you're having again, I know you're going through a tough time, but despite that, I hope that, like I said, you'll get through it. And I'm glad that your whole family is there. That's a really important thing, to rely on family. And next time I'm in town visiting my dad, I'll make sure to come and knock on your door and say hello. Oh, he was a UFC fighter, Fedor, right? Oh my God, Fedor would kill me. Are you kidding? Don't you say that, and next thing I know, Dana White's gonna be knocking on my door, telling me to get ready. I have a fight coming up or something, and I don't need that. I don't need that smoke, sir. Um, oh, that's pretty funny, Shane Murphy. I'm gonna give that joke a five. I'm gonna give that joke a 7 out of 10. That's the best I can do. Hello, Philippi Diogo. Thank you for being here also. Well, right now, tomorrow it's 75. I don't set the number. The number is set in the Push for Life app. And every day it's different. On February 5th, it's 63. Today, February 6th, it's 75. Tomorrow it could be 100. The day after it could be 12. It just, at the end of the 23 days, though, it adds up to 2,000. Hello, John. Thank you for being here. I love cooked apples with cinnamon and other spices. Apple and spices go incredibly well together. I would say apple in general, like apple cinnamon, is a pretty great flavor. So, I am enjoying myself, John. I hope you're doing well also. But you can do the Put Us With Me handle. I'm going to be streaming tomorrow or today again in the morning, 10 a.m. live streaming. I'll turn on my phone. I'm going to be at a different location in Windsor. And we'll do the push-ups together. You can do the push-ups with me or do the sit-ups if you prefer. Like, modify it to what you need. If you can't do push-ups, do sit-ups. Maybe do squats. If you can't do that, maybe just do 75 seconds of a breathing exercise and meditation, right? Just doing something is important. Normally, I talk about Freemasonry, John, and on these 1 a.m. streams, I don't have any like specific Masonic topics. I just wait to see who joins and what they want to talk about. And it's more of a fun, loose, kind of freewheeling discussion. Well, I pronounce it pecan, like pecan pie. I don't pronounce it pecan pie because that's weird, and only foolish people do that. Cool. Do you have any questions? Pecan? No, it's pecan. It's pecan pie. I mean, I'm not going to ban you for being wrong, Rodolphe, but you are wrong. I mean, and I will say this, I love Southern food. Southern food is the best food. So I guess since a pecan slash pecan is a type of Southern staple, I suppose I should defer or show respect for the Southerners and their awesome food. At least, yeah, like I said, in terms of the best food I've ever had, actually, I will say this, the best Masonic meal I ever had was actually very far south. It was in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. The food was incredible. It was so, so good. But I've been to a lot of the, southern states, especially Texas. Food was delicious. Food was absolutely delicious. I am a Mason. I've been a Mason for 20 years. I joined in 2007. I have traveled around the world as a Freemason. I visited lodges in the Philippines, North America, South America, England, Scotland, um, and it's been wonderful. Well, I'm here talking and I'm a real Mason, so I guess you are incorrect. I am. Hello, Tex MC from Northeast Texas. Where in Northeast Texas? And are you a Freemason? I hope you hit the like and subscribe button. Serio Sergio. Oh my gosh, you're making me feel young, Sergio. Thank you. I joined in 2007. So you got a few years on me, making me feel young. I appreciate it. Um, I am, in fact, a Freemason, Sean. Um, you are incorrect. A Masonic lodge refers to the group of people, the group of men. It's the club, right? It's not the same as the clubhouse, which would be called the Masonic Temple or Masonic Hall. That's where they meet. But the club itself is called a Masonic lodge. It's the grouping of people. A good way to think about it is when you were a kid, maybe you started a club with your friends. That club could be considered the lodge. If you guys met in a tree house, that would be your building. Um, what about trans? I don't know what that means. Trans people exist. I have no problem sitting next to a trans person in a Masonic lodge or in any other location. Um, I've never heard of the band Ghost. I'll have to check that out. Because I don't know anything about trains. Um, I did not know the band Ghost. Let me Google that quickly. Band Ghost Freemasonry. Allegations, that's not a good word. Surfaced in 2018 during a lawsuit in Sweden that Ghost frontman Tobias Forge is a member of the Swedish Order of Freemasons. Former band members alleged that the presiding judge, Heinrich Ebold, was also a member of the same order, creating a conflict of interest in the legal dispute. The court ultimately upheld the ruling, finding no legal disqualification. All right. I cannot viral. I think you're trying to make a joke. There is not, Sebastian, there are not satanic things involved in Freemasonry, despite the fact that Albert Pike wrote something and people misunderstood it. But no, Freemasonry is not satanic. Freemasonry is not a religion, right? Freemasonry is not a religion in any form. It does not worship, it does not have any gods nor devils. Every Mason will have his or her personal Masonic beliefs, personal religious beliefs. which are separate from their engagement with Freemasonry. They may be Christian, they may be Jewish, they may be Muslim, they may be Hindu, Sikh, they may be indigenous or First Nations, spiritual like me. So yeah, but there is nothing satanic within Freemasonry. Um, well, Parker, whether I'm gay or not does not matter. I've known gay Freemasons. They're my brothers. What matters in Freemasonry is, are you a good man and true? That's the basis. Everything else is optional in some ways. And that's from the original Anderson Constitution of 1723. To be a good man and true and to be honorable. That's what they say is kind of the distinguishing characteristics of what a Freemason should believe. And I think that's a really good place to start, if nothing else. Well, Mormonism is a religion. It was started by a Freemason. However, the thing to keep in mind is, again, Freemasonry is not a religion, it occupies a different space. And once again, we have the Epstein stuff. So I'm going to have to address it at some point. The conspiracy theories surrounding Freemasonry and Epstein, because it's a pain in my butt. No, I'm not rich. My dad was a Freemason, a Highlander, as was my both grandfathers. Well, Sebastian, I'm here talking about it. I haven't been killed yet. No, it won't. That's a myth. Freemasonry is not secret. I'm here talking about it. We have our, the Masonic symbol and the name Masonic on our buildings. We regularly hold open houses and invite people to a variety of public events. Freemasonry is not secret. Talking about Freemasonry and how much I love Freemasonry is not going to get me killed. What's up, Hone Stop Opinion? I hope you're doing well. Please hit like and subscribe. Don't think about Freemasonry in terms of level, John. We within Freemasonry don't think about it that way. Think about it in terms of degrees and think about it in terms of offices. I am the worshipful master of my lodge, worshipful master of my lodge, Border Cities Lodge number 554. I'm also a past master of Windsor Lodge 403 and Harmony 579. I am a third degree Master Mason. I'm also 18th degree Scottish Rite. There can be women as Freemasons, though everybody, there are some who disagree with this. The Order of Women Freemasons is very popular right now in England. It's actually been in existence for longer than women have had the right to vote. There's also Eastern Star, which is a Masonic group for both men and women. There's Masonic youth groups for young girls, like International Order of Rainbow. And in France, there is co-masonry, although that is not recognized in many jurisdictions. But yeah, so I do think that we within Freemasonry did make a mistake by not spending enough time showing love to the Order of Women Freemasons. England is kind of working hard to rectify that now. Most things that the Masons do is including both the Ancient Grand Lodge and the Order of Women Freemasons together, including their current challenge of the United Kingdom's Metropolitan Police's decision requiring all Masons to disclose their membership to their supervisors, both current and past Masons. Profitable in what way? Freemasonry is not profitable. You're not going to make any money from Freemasonry. You may be able to network, but you could get those same networking benefits from, joining a football team or a football club. It's just the more people you know, the more people you know, always will increase your possibility, or always will increase the possibility of networking. I have no skills other than talking, free thinking, but I think I'm pretty good at it. I can tell you why I joined, but every Mason has their exclusive reasons for joining. There is no singular reason to join, except at your core, you desire to be part of a group. When Aristotle said, I think it was Aristotle, said man is a political animal, what he meant by that is not that, men or humans are necessarily Republicans or Democrats or conservatives or liberals or left or right. What he meant by that is man and humans will always have the desire to form groups, to form organizations, and to form structures. Freemasonry allows you to fulfill that desire. Um, no, Sebastian, I do not. I mean, first of all, I don't know what the highest power means. I have no idea how you define highest power. Like to me, Joe Rogan would be somebody I'd put in the highest power category based on his audience and his financial resources. Others may think politicians, but no, Freemasonry does not wield, power, influence. If anybody tells you become a Freemason, you'll become powerful and have influence and become a higher up, you're going to be sorely, sorely disappointed. They're almost certainly scamming you or they're just lying to you. Sorry, they're either certainly scamming you, lying to you, or they're just mistaken and somebody else lied to them. I'm a Freemason and I love Catholics. I have no issue with Catholics. I'm a Freemason and I have zero issue with Catholics and I certainly don't hate them. The Catholic Church may have its own issues with Freemasonry, but that's on the Catholic Church side, not on our side. I've known many Catholic Freemasons. There's even Catholics who come on and off the stream, which I always appreciate. Some of my good audience members are themselves Catholic. So if you haven't done so yet, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Help me out, help me get a few more subs. I'd really appreciate it. We're going to be ending this stream soon. I will be back on, though, tomorrow at 10 a.m. The best hello from England. Hello from Canada, England. Thank you for being here. I do not know where the Temple of Satan is because Freemasonry has no Temple of Satan, so I cannot help you with that. Honestly, Sky Storm, I'm trying to do this for work and I'm growing. I have some income coming in from this. If you want to help me out, please consider doing a super chat. Please consider becoming a Patreon, becoming a YouTube member. I would really, really, really appreciate that. Even a 99-cent super chat. People don't realize it helps majorly and would be greatly appreciated. Any interactions? I do not know. I do know of one story I heard. I think it might be apocryphal of a woman basically sneaking into a lodge, hiding in the corner, like hiding under seats or something so they couldn't see her, watching the entire Masonic ceremony, and then just popping out and saying, I've seen everything. And I guess what the men did is they made her a Freemason, thereby giving her the obligation, asking that she maintain the secrecy of what she saw. And that's how she became a Freemason. The argument being, if she's not obligated, she's under no, like definitionally, she's under no obligation to maintain the secrets of what she saw. I don't believe Elizabeth was a Mason, no. If you want to give me a penny, go ahead, at least try, see if it works. I'll take a penny. Welcome the Shuriken Zone. That's a cool name. Please hit like and subscribe. I mean, I can speak exclusively for the Catholic Church itself, like the administration, not the individual members or denomination. Like I said, I've known many Catholic Freemasons. I get along great with many Catholic friends and they with me without any concerns or issues about whether we're Freemasons or Catholic or Knights of Columbus or whatever it is. This is a top leadership issue, not in my experience a rank and file, a rank and file worshiper or member issue. Well then, do a 99-cent super chat, Goon. You'll have to. That's the best I can do. But welcome the Shuriken Zone. I really appreciate you being here. To everybody watching this, I hope you hit the like and subscribe button. Don't forget, you can also become a Patreon, even for free. It helps out majorly. So I hope you'll consider doing that. Well, I got a lot of questions about it. What can I say? The people are curious. The people want to know. Well, it's not a secret society, John. It's a society with secrets. And there's an important difference between that. Here's the way I always describe it, John. Let's imagine you have a family recipe for cookies, whatever, passed down from your grandparents to your parents, passed down from your parents to you. You plan to pass it on to your kids. You may share the final product, you may share the cookies with friends, with family. You may talk about it, you may talk about what the cookies mean to you, but you're not going to share the recipe itself because that's private. And the reason why it's private is because maintaining its privacy maintains the bonds between the past and future generations of your family. That doesn't mean just because the recipe is private, you won't share the cookies or talk about the cookies or talk about the recipe even. You're just not going to give the specifics. Freemasonry is the same way, right? Within Freemasonry, we have our ritual. The ritual is what binds us to one another through shared experience and shared knowledge. If I share that, I'm kind of damaging that bond. But even though I won't talk about the ritual and keep it private, like a non-disclosure agreement, I can still talk to you about Freemasonry itself, why I love it, why I enjoy it, what it means to me, etc., etc. Um, well, Freemasons did not start with Hiram. Hiram is a mythological or legendary figure. Freemasonry started, in fact, in Scotland in probably 1634 with the Mackenzie brothers, three brothers who wanted to be Freemasons, or wanted to be three brothers from Scotland who wanted to be part of a Masonic lodge, not for the professional aspect, but for the social aspect. And as a consequence, joined the lodge and became stonemasons. Or not became stonemasons, became the first speculative masons. Gosh, I'm tired. I'm gonna have to go to sleep soon. Hiram, again, is a mythological figure. He's an important figure within Freemasonry, but it's symbolical and mythological, not historical. Um, that doesn't mean, however, and you need to keep in mind, just because something is mythological and symbolical or allegorical does not also mean it's not valuable. Uh, I mean, Max, maybe, maybe not. My suspicion is no. My suspicion is he's a legend. He's a Masonic legend exclusively. Now, in the Bible, there is the mention of a architect named Hiram. The last name that he gets within Freemasonry is never given in the Bible, and it says very little about him. Um, and again, we don't even know 100% for certain if Solomon was a real person, let alone Hiram, right? Or even if Solomon's temple existed. Archaeological evidence seems to be somewhat inconsistent on that front. But metaphorically, he's very valuable. John, if you want to join, to be one, ask one. You need to find a Masonic lodge in your area and approach them and express your interest in joining. Don't expect it to happen overnight. Don't expect it to happen all of a sudden. But if express an interest, at some point, you express an interest and you have good character and you go through the process, there'll be a vote and you see what happens. Well, I think it's really interesting, Beaver Dunker, and I'm glad that you found me, and I do hope that your interest continues. By all means, find a Masonic lodge in your area, speak to them about joining. The biggest thing to do is make sure when you speak to them, you ask them if they are a member of a recognized Masonic jurisdiction. Um, well, the bubonic plague, please don't infect all of us, unless you will infect the like button and the subscribe button. Certainly, back in the day, there were many times Masonic lodges you would have the men would have the meeting and the women would be either preparing the food or getting something set up or having their own meetings. You had a lot of women's auxiliaries. Beaver, what I'd say is since you're interested in joining anyways, approach them and ask them and talk to them about it. They'll explain to you what they do and how they operate. I am doing well, Two Kinds of Love. I hope you're doing well as well. Thank you for being here. Freemasonry, honestly, very often can be quite boring, but it's not a bad thing. Just because something is boring, that does not mean it's not also potentially very rewarding at the same time or useful. All right. Awesome. That is awesome, Beaver Dunker. I hope you'll come back on the stream afterwards and let me know how it went. I'm sure it's going to go very, very well. And I'm happy to hear that you're taking the steps, and I'm happy you're part of this. I hope you're hitting the like and subscribe button. Freemasonry is absolutely a community thing. It is part of the civic space. All right, guys, I'm going to end this stream. I will be back on in about 9 hours. I'm going to be doing 75 push-ups. I hope you will join me for that. Please take a moment, if you're not done so yet, to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and share. Hello, Shadow Titan. I'm taking off, but thank you for being here. Hit like, hit subscribe, share. Thank you all. I'll see you all soon.